What's going on? What's going on? Shalom, shalom, everybody. How you doing? Shalom, 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 everybody. How you doing? What's going on? Shalom, everybody. Shalom, 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 shalom. What's going on, everybody? Everybody tuning in. What's going on? It's rarity that I haven't done Facebook Live. It seemed like in a minute. Just man, lately it's been real just real hectic, real busy, and just trying to get things situated and done. We're coming to a close of this Gregorian calendar, and so just really been working on a lot of different things, ministry wise and things like that. So I used to do all these lives, but I'll leave that up to y'all who can do the lives and things like that. But there's something that nowadays I try to do a live that's going to be impactful, and I try to do lives that's going to be able to bring some wisdom to brothers and sisters, especially in ministry and things like that. And today I really want to talk about something. I'm going to be very short. I'm here in the parking lot, as you see, waiting at the barbershop, waiting to go get my hair cut and whatnot. So shalom to everybody that's tuning in, and not only this is a particular live for those in leadership, mores, pastors, things like that, but it also can be able to help. What's going on, Pastor Scotty? What's going on, man? Blessings to you. This will be able to help anybody, and I think that it's going to. But I want to specifically talk to like pastors and those who are in leadership, especially those who are leading congregations and assemblies and churches and things like that. Shalom, shalom, shalom. What's going on? Shalom, shalom, shalom. Deep. What's up? I want to talk about one of the biggest traps in ministry that is undefeated. And one thing that people kind of always talk about is, don't get caught up in, getting caught up in things within the church, within the assembly. Be careful, of people trying to take money from the church, trying to hustle the church. And this is I'm talking to leaders right now, but I want to definitely, present this. Be careful of those who are, be careful of the women in the church, all these type of things. Here's an area that many pastors and leaders and mores, when they're starting assemblies, that they don't get warned about. And this is one area that is undefeated, that is one of the biggest traps to anybody that's a leader that is starting an assembly. One of the biggest traps is the perception of winning. And what I want to make myself clear here, because I know people are like, well, what are you talking about, the perception of winning? The perception of, the biggest trap is getting caught up in the perception of winning. And what am I talking about? Wanting people to feel, wanting your congregation and wanting people around you, your peers and others who are watching you, around you, to have the mindset that you are winning. And there's a saying that everybody wants to be around a winner. Everybody want to be associated with a winner. Everybody want to be amongst somebody that seems as if they're winning. Their saying is, you got to fly with the eagles. The eagle. You can't fly with the chickens, because, and all this other stuff. These are the biggest traps, because what happens is you're so driven by wanting people to feel and appreciate, or you want to feel as though you're successful, till you'll literally do anything to try to make the perception of winning possible. And these are some of the biggest traps there are. Not knowing that no matter what you do, you can go out here and advertise, you can go out and spend your last, people go in debt trying to do things to bring forth the perception of winning. And the thing is that, and this is not just in the church, but this is also in life general, but I'm definitely talking to those in ministry, okay? Because this is very prevalent within ministry, okay? The perception of winning will cause people to do things that they are not capable of doing. And we have to understand something. Another thing that we have to understand with this is that the only people that are capable of winning are people that there's a spiritual element that's behind it. You have to have backing by the Most High. The Most High he's the only one that can enlarge in any form of territory. There is nothing that you can do to expand your territory, okay? Yes, you can prepare, you can do all of these things, but you also have to understand the practical element of it, okay? The practical element of it is that if you cannot govern and you cannot function and you cannot establish a local body, okay, and if you can't empower those people, okay, if you cannot empower those people, then the perception of winning does not matter, because ultimately the perception of winning is going to ultimately be an illusion to people after a while. That in the beginning, you'll have people thinking and feeling as though they're winning, but there's a thing called reality that kicks in. And reality always finds out and uncovers false perceptions, okay? So it's very important that you understand, that we all understand, that we have to be careful in not stepping into the bear trap or the pit of the perception of winning. All right? If this ministry is not about how many assemblies you can plant, how many people you have following you, how many people viewing you as being great, how many people viewing you as being an awesome teacher, how many people viewing you as being financially strapped. All this other stuff, that has nothing to do with winning. That have nothing to do with ministry. Those things are perceptions. And people are doing everything possible that they can to put on the image of the perception of winning. If somebody else is winning, maybe that's them. But you can't get caught up in the perception of trying to run after and trying to emulate and imitate how somebody else is winning. Maybe that particular individual, it took them 20 years, 30 years, 15 years. And some people just come out of the gate and they have their ducks in a row, they have things in order, and yet they've been doing a lot of things behind the scenes and they've already laid their groundwork. But when you're trying to put on a perception of winning just to keep up with what's going on in ministry and in the ministry, the community of ministry, then you're going to fail. You're going to actually fail. And what happens is the people find you out. And and this is another area that you cannot cover up. You cannot fool people for so long. You can only fool people for so long, because ultimately false perceptions find you out. All right, and these false perceptions of winning are even in not in the area of growth, but it's also in the area of teaching. People can put on a front as though they're great at teaching. Meanwhile, they're listening to other people and taking other people's work. And what happens is, if it's not you, if it hasn't been revealed to you, now you've created a false perception that you're the one who is being downloaded this information to. Again, only so long before you can keep a false perception covered. And what happens is, after a period of time, what then happens, it's almost like a lie. You have to cover that lie. You have to keep, when you tell a lie, in order to keep the perception going that it's the truth, you have to keep adding lies on top of lies. Now, at that point, we know that the Most High is not involved in that. Okay? It's never been about winning it to the public. Even Yeshua showed us that it wasn't even about winning numerically or putting on the perception of the numerical win. It was more so about advancing the kingdom and how many people can you empower. If it's only 12, if it's only 11, if it's 10, if it's 3,000. The mindset is always the perception that it's done from an honest approach. It's done from an honest approach. It's never about numbers. And the false perception of winning is totally associated with the numerical value. And so people find themselves getting caught in these traps. They're going broke. They're going in debt. What happens when a false perception of winning, at the end of the day, it also splits up families. Some of the biggest issues and some of the biggest fails of marriages and ministry is because of false perceptions. And what happens is the first lady or the lady of the assembly, if you don't establish from day one a honest perception, then she'll find herself creating a false perception of happiness when she is in torment. She is in torment because she's tormenting herself to keep up with the false perception of being happy. Another area is a false perception of marriage, of failing marriages within ministry, is because of the fact of we're trying to keep up with a perception of people pleasing. We cannot care more about the people in the ministry than we care about the people at home. Okay? Let me say that for those in the back who can't hear. Okay? Those in the back who can't hear me. All right? The false perception of making sure, because you don't want to lose somebody. Okay? Okay? Let's talk about this. The false perception of, and this is a part of winning, okay? The false perception of you care about the people to the point to where you want the people to feel as though you care so much about them, but yet you're putting in more time and putting up a false perception that you care more about them than you actually do your family. And here's the thing. It may be a true perception to you. You may want to put on the perception that you care more about people at the ministry than you do at home. That's a bad idea. That's a bad idea because it falls under the category, again, of trying to prove you're winning in order to keep numbers and people. You have to make sure your home is intact, okay? So these things are some things I wanted to share to mores and pastors and those who are leading assembly and those who actually, you can use this wisdom in everyday life. You can use this wisdom every day. I see this all the time. Folks be dead broke, struggling, and yet they want to put on the perception that they're winning. For what? You still, at the end of the day, if you don't own a vehicle, you got to turn it in. At the end of the day, you're going out here trying to buy, the best outfit or the best feast day outfit or the best suit. At the end of the day, you don't got it. So guess what? You know that there's a bill that you could have paid is going to be due. All of these are false perception of winning. All of these are false perception of winning. I am not going to put on any type of false perception to prove anything to anybody that I got it or that I'm winning. What you see is what it is. What you see is what it is. If I got it, I got it. If I don't, I don't. So whatever you see me driving, I got it. I ain't renting it. I didn't get it from what's the name? The rent-a-car place. I ain't leasing it. Not saying there's anything wrong with leasing. I'm not doing that. I'm not going to the store just to buy something and keep the tag on it, okay, then turn it back in. I'm not doing that type of stuff. These are false perceptions. Now, when I was a fool and when I was young, you know, those type of things, you know, I did, you know, all of us did at one point in time. I'm not doing it. I got too much wisdom. I'm old enough now to know better than to entertain or even create a false perception. It's what it is. Whatever. Now, if there's a perception that you've created of me, that's your fault. That's your fault. That's your fault. Shalom, everybody. I see everybody comments in. I'm not ignoring your comments. Thank you all for sharing your comments. I really do appreciate it. And it's going to help other people. That's your fault. Whatever perception that you've created of me as Moray William Brown, that is your perception. And that falls on you. But Moray ain't creating no false perceptions for nobody. Because I know that it's not honest. And I'd rather sleep at night being honest than to lose sleep on trying to figure out how I'm going to pay the next bill. Or because I'm not going to go out here and spend money on a billboard because, oh, I can afford it. No, there's a such thing as being foolish, and there's a such thing as having faith. I have faith, but I'm not finna have foolish. Okay? Let's get that understood. If I can pay for the billboard, I'm gonna get it. There's a thin line between faith and foolish. And I don't walk the line. So people walk the line of faith and foolish. And oftentimes they find themselves falling over the line closer to foolish than faith. Okay? So I just wanted to share this with you, brothers and sisters, to make sure that you apply it properly into your life. Okay? Make sure you apply these things properly into your life. Don't fall in the trap of perception, of the perception of winning. Okay? You don't have to know everything. Don't try to put on the perception that you know everything. You got all the knowledge. You know all everybody wrong but you. That's another false perception. Because scripture clearly tells us we all only know in part. So if we only know in part, then why are we putting on the perception that we know everything? Again, that's a false perception of winning. Because you want people to think that you got all the answers. And this is an issue. So we have to make sure that we line us up accordingly. I pray that this wisdom blessed you. I'm going to get off of here and be blessed. Y'all have a great and wonderful week. All right, have a great and wonderful week. And enjoy yourselves. Be blessed, brothers and sisters. Shalom, shalom, shalom.